Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, Militw tried to wear white at a friend's wedding. Mil does whatever she wants in my house, boyfriend lets her. Mil expects me to cook for her yet will opt out and complain once it's been placed in front of her. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Militw tried to wear white at a friend's wedding. Y'all, I went to the wedding of a good friend of my SO's this weekend. He is a lovely guy and his bride is amazing. We arrived at the church and were rather early, but no biggie. I had 2 small bottles of a fizzy drink mix with me. We knew we'd arrive pretty early because we had to drive 3 hours and left early enough, just in case we hit traffic, as was the end of holidays here, so we sat outside the church. The weather was brilliant and enjoyed the atmosphere. We had a hotel room for the night where the reception was going to be held, which was right around the corner, but couldn't check in until later. Anyways, I'm a slow drinker with fizzy stuff cause it tends to go to my head really quickly, so I had maybe drank half of it when the other guest started to arrive. At first everything is great, but suddenly everyone just stops talking. I had to ask my SO what was going on because I'm only 5 feet 1 inch while he is 6 feet 0 inches, and he tells me that the groom's mother just showed up in a white lacy gown and a little veil thing in front of her face. Do you know what I mean? Everyone was in shock. FYI, I'm blaming all of you for what happened next. The bridesmaids and maid of honor, MOH, arrived before the bride, and I pulled the MOH to the side and asked her if it was planned that the mother of the groom, MOG, was wearing white. It wasn't, of course. Bride and MOG had picked out a nice silvery dress for her. I asked her if she could do something about it. She had no idea on what she could do. I asked her if she wanted me to do something about it, to which she answered yes please. So I handed my SO my purse, gathered all the shininess of my spine available, and walked up to Emoji and her husband, pretending to the quite tipsy already. If you have ever worn high heels on Pebble, you know it's not hard to do so. I greeted the father of the groom, who looked severely uncomfortable next to his wife, and then it happened. When I went to greet the Emoji, I stumbled and the leftover content of my little bottle of fizzy drink just sloshed out of it and landed on her dress. I, obviously, felt so bad. The shock of it sobered me up right away, and I tried to make it better by rubbing on the stains with my hanky. Now, if you try to clean something with your hanky, do make sure that it's a clean one and that you hadn't dropped it sometime beforehand, because it'll make things worse. To sum things up, the ceremony was delayed by 30 minutes because Emoji had to go and change. So had a hiccups from laughing so hard. I was congratulated on my aim no less than 12 times. Emoji hates me, but who cares? Everyone had a fantastic time. MOH wants to name her firstborn after me and hopes it'll have balls of steel like me, no matter the gender. Bride and groom almost crushed me while hugging the next morning at breakfast when they heard of what happened. So yes, I blame you. However, this was for all of you poor brides that had to deal with their MILs wearing white on your wedding day, and goodness, I had fun doing that. If you're gonna wear a white dress to your son's wedding, might as well go big and get the veil too. It just wouldn't be proper emotional incest without it. She had a tiny veil thingy, something like this, just a bit finer and with applications. LOL. My MIL decided to wear a summer-style off-white dress to my fall wedding. Not only was it 50 degrees that day, so she looked underdressed, but I had multiple people come up to me and ask why she chose to wear off-white, when all the other family of my DH and I were wearing my wedding colors. Thank the Lord she didn't wear a white veil. My favorite part was when you tried to clean it with the hanky. I hope that you followed the finest tradition of British mums and spat on the hanky first to aid strain/mark/grub/ how the hell did you get a sticky spot when you haven't moved removal? I love how the spilling something on the person who stupidly decides to wear white to someone else's wedding is a fairly common reaction, but the people who get spilled on can't really call that out without also pointing out that they know they're not supposed to wear white. Spot on, the white dress. The people who get spilled on can't really call that out without also pointing out that they know they're not supposed to wear white. That's the best part, and why the oops I spilled red wine on the MILTE tactic can be so effective. You know, I'm realizing this is going to be a pretty big trend. The one time you get to throw drinks on a woman at a wedding. I was just running down the list of weddings I hate this season and trying to figure out if there is an opportunity to fit in my baptism into the Order of St. Louis. I want to see people going to weddings with a miniature super soaker water gun filled with red wine. They swagger up to the offending male, spray the white dress a few times, then squirt a shot or two into their own mouths just for funsies. Even better if they wink and walk away. Congratulations on your successful induction into the Order of St. Louis. Long may his garden hose and salsa reign. So now you can hire yourself out as the MOG Wrangler. I hear they are paying premium prices for services like yours. Why your shiny spine? This isn't actually a bad idea at all. In some parts of China, there are bridesmaids for hire, so why not JustNoMil Wrangler? There can be a market for this. I have legitimately been thinking of hiring myself as a JustNo manager at weddings. I know I can do it because I have little hesitation or shame. Legend. I would actually highly suggest to anyone getting married to bring a bucket of black paint or something similar for this exact reason, but to be less, it was an accident, and more, this is what happens when you wear white to your child's wedding. There's a reason to keep the fig leaf of oopsies here. You do that, MIL is gonna probably believe it was done at the behest of evil child-in-law and will definitely want you punished and harass the bride and groom, then and later, about what happened to you. On the other hand, she can hardly request much reaction from them to your innocent clumsiness, no matter how little she believes it. Hell, just walk up with the big bottle of Hershey's chocolate syrup and hose her down with it. Extra points for oops, my mistake. Tee-hee. Love hugs all the silvers and golds. MIL does whatever she wants in my house, boyfriend lets her. I have to vent because my boyfriend is making me feel like I am overreacting and being irrational. The JustNo in question is his mother, of course, and she is the matriarch of the family. 4 boys, dad, and her. She is used to bossing people around and getting her way. Anyways, we recently had a baby, and of course she wants to see them and spend time with them. No problem. I tell her she is invited whenever, but she will only come when I am not around or going to work. When she is here, she rearranges things in my house and cleans things I've asked her not to. She also tells me how to do things and what I shall be doing. The hill I am currently going to die on is the one where she is doing my laundry. I do not want her washing my clothes that are supposed to be hand-washed or drying my clothes that need to be hung. I also don't want her touching my dirty underwear. It's an invasion of privacy, and I asked my boyfriend, who's home while she's doing this shit, to set some boundaries and stop her. Well, I come home from work and I find a pile of my underwear on the bed. Sorted. Folded. Boyfriend says I am irrationally angry and she is just trying to help. I'm saying she's nosy and stomping boundaries. She is no longer allowed to babysit or visit until he learns to respect my space, and she learns no means no. He thinks I'm going overboard. Am I crazy? What would an appropriate response be? I don't think I should be made to be uncomfortable in my own house. I'm paying half the mortgage. I have a right to have things the way I want them. P.S. She bought us a baby walker. I said don't put my baby in that, it's dangerous. She said just for a second. I said no. She continues to argue and tell me she put all 4 of her kids in them. I told her my grandma put my mom in a laundry basket while driving her in the car, and it doesn't mean I am going to do it with my kid. What is wrong with these people not understanding the word no? You have a huge so problem. You are not overreacting. You're not overreacting, but you haven't so problem as much as you have a MIL problem. If he won't tell her to quit touching things, I think you should. It depends on how mad you are, but it has to stop, and he's not up to the task, because he doesn't care who washes his underpants. Your main issue is your boyfriend. If he'd stop her as he knows you don't want her to do your laundry, she would. I'd start there. Until he understands, throw the baby walker away. She can't use it when it's gone. And, take the drawer for the detergent out of the machine and put it in your trunk. She can't do the laundry when the drawer is gone. I love this, great ideas. If she wants to wash your SO's laundry, have at it. Put all your laundry in a hamper and put it in a closet with a lock that only you have a key for. Speak plainly to both MIL and SO. When I say no, I mean no, and it is the end of discussion. I am this baby's mother, and am due respect. If you keep disrespecting my wishes, I will pack up the baby and go stay with relative/friend, and you won't see them until you can do as I ask. I love you both, but I'm tired of having my instructions ignored. Your SO needs to find his spine. He should have your back, not his mother's. Sometimes you have to spell it out for them. You are gonna understand the word NO when it comes out of my mouth, or you will be treated like a toddler who doesn't understand it. You can either be treated like an adult who understands the boundary, or you will be treated like the toddler who doesn't and put on timeout and given no privileges with my child. When she goes to argue, literally cut her off before she can and keep repeating, "Do you understand?" over and over until she says yes or leaves. Sometimes you have to be the bad guy in some people's narratives to get *T done. Baby walkers were banned in Canada decades ago because of the high incidence of severe injuries and death in infants. Tell your SO that. And toss it. I'd cut the seat so it can't be used by anyone, ever. This right here. Break the seat. Baby walkers were also banned in Europe long ago. Not only because of the risk of tripping over and rolling down the stairs, but because they cause hip dysplasias and scoliosis in infants. It's also the worst you can do for a baby's development in crawling and walking. Please get rid of it immediately. This is quickly going to become a "she can stay or I can stay" issue. If it makes me mad, it isn't helping me. If I didn't ask for it or want her to do it, it isn't helping. If she doesn't listen to what I say, it isn't helping. I am an adult, and unless I asked for advice, I don't want it. If you are not going to listen to me when I tell you that things are not right, how are you going to help our child when they tell you that something is wrong? Will you do nothing then as well? If I say no and she doesn't listen, what will she do when our child, who cannot advocate for themselves, says no? You are not overreacting. Couples counseling is in order here to get you both on the same page. Good luck. You're not crazy. I would hate this and put my foot down too. I agree, it's a hill to die on. Your BF needs to grow a shiny spine. He may not mind it, but since you do, then it is a problem, and he needs to respect you enough to listen and acknowledge when you air grievances. MIL expects me to cook for her, yet will opt out and complain once it's been placed in front of her. She lives with us. I'm WFH for medical reasons, and this only came up within the last 2 months or so. My MIL doesn't realize that my current work needs mostly means keeping up with meetings, seminars, checking in with subordinates, and overseeing projects. She also assumes it means I'm now her live-in chef. As a result, I've been voluntold to make her lunch and snacks on request, as well as family dinner, and now also breakfast for her. It's like dealing with a child. I ask if she wants something when I'm planning, she says that's yummy, but then when I plate it she turns her nose up and says she wants something else entirely and pitches a fit if I am not amenable to making that second meal. If I push her while planning to know if she wants something specific, she rages about how I never let her choose. If I ask what she wants, she complains that she can't possibly know what she'll want in the future, whether that future is a few hours or a few days, or that the menu is the responsibility of the chef. I've tried the petty route of saying I'll just make for myself or let her fend for herself, but she complains the entire day about the arduous task of tossing a couple cans of meat into a bowl with mayonnaise and how I starve her. So sympathizes with me and agrees that MIL is unreasonable, but we've yet to come up with a solution to soothe the beast that doesn't result in the entire household being in upheaval. She's tried talking to MIL, we've both tried explaining my actual work responsibilities and why they're the way they are, all without any changes. It's to the point wifey and I just put up with her rants and so takes over cooking dinner once or twice a week. ETA, she's capable of making her own meals. No disabilities. Noticing a few folks thinking I'm the daughter-in-law, but I'm the son-in-law and marrying her daughter. It's just funny to me. Ask her if she thinks she would enjoy her meals at an old folks' home instead. Exactly. I laughed, but this would be my exact response, LMAO. Hang on, what? She is capable? No disabilities? Wifey agrees? YTF are you putting up with this? Work stuff. JNMIL my work hours are 8 to 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. Do not have any expectations of me then. I am working and mentally not even here. Leave me to it. Food stuff. JNMIL we don't mind you joining us for dinner with whatever we are having. If you don't want what we are having, that is fine. Do your own thing. And you are on your own for other meals. Nobody here is your personal chef. Unless of course you want to hire a personal chef. 2 words that saved me when my MIL moved in. Adult daycare. They picked up my MIL, fed and entertained her, and brought her back in the early evening. It allowed me time to run errands and drive carpool without my MIL making everything take twice as long. I really loved my MIL, but sometimes you need a break. I bet if you signed her up for adult daycare for a week or 2, she would have a newfound appreciation for your efforts. And if not, well then she can keep going. Check with her doctor and local hospitals and nursing homes. Get recommendations and arrange a time for you and your wife to take a tour before you choose one. Most have scholarships if you ask, and some take insurance. OMG, how have I never heard of this? She can always eat a bowl of cereal. Or a sandwich. She's purposely doing this to ruffle your feathers. If she's calling people and whining to them, then enlist them to help. Oh? So you're volunteering to bring lunch to her then? Okay, do you want Thursday or Monday? Oh, don't worry about me, I have work. But let's say 11 a.m.? You and your wife should take her on tours of nursing homes. Anyone that needs that much help needs to be somewhere that can take care of her numerous needs. If there's nothing she likes, nothing is what she gets. This has nothing to do with food, and everything to do with her need to control. Drop it entirely. Your so needs to explain to MIL that since it is such an issue for her from now on, she cooks for herself. Full stop. Send her to a senior living facility. You are a work-from-home adult, not a stay-at-home homemaker. If you were at work outside the home in a business, you wouldn't be cooking lunch and preparing snacks for coworkers. She's only demanding all this unreasonable stuff because you are doing it. Why? Who is volunteering you? Stop trying to explain. Just stop making her food. Is she disabled? If not, she can make her own food. If she is, get so to deal with it. Their circus, their monkey. You are working. What's with these posts where MILs are being treated like queens? They're not. Midst tantrum. Hey JNMIL, seeing you are so unhappy and we are unhappy, pack your shit. Our turn is over and never have a turn again. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.